Good afternoon. Our countdown timer has a mind of its own today, so we're going to get started. It's high noon and time to get going. So glad you could join us today. So let's see what we have in store. Today we're going to talk about Far Out, a recap. So this is Go for Lunch for this day in August, or September, I should say, 13th of September, 2022. Brought to you by GoFor Technology. I'm your host, Roger Harmon. If you're new here, please type new in the comments so we can get to know you. And as always, our mission here is to make your technology work for you. So this was the invitation that Apple sent out for their presentation, and it was on September the 7th, introducing the new Series 8 Apple Watch, the AirPods Pro, and the iPhone 14. So Tim Cook, CEO of Apple, started out on the lawn in front of the cafeteria on the Apple Park building, the so-called spaceship. And the Apple Watch, of course, is a health device, measures all sorts of things. And a new measurement coming this year is the wrist temperature. So there's actually two sensors on the new Apple Watch that measure your temperature. And so if you get a variation in that temperature above the normal, it will alert you so you can have it checked out. So safety is always foremost in Apple's products, and this year is no exception because they introduced crash detection. So when the watch accelerometer senses a sudden stop, whether you be in a vehicle or maybe you hit a brick wall on your bicycle, then it will go into crash detection mode, and it will automatically trigger a call to 911 as well as anybody that you put in your health app as emergency contacts. So if you don't cancel it, it will start a countdown and call within 60 seconds. Another feature is all-day battery life. And if you go to low power mode, that means 36 hours of battery life. And I need to fix something here. Okay, let me move this over here. Please stand by. Okay. So also the Apple Watch is being supported by other carriers around the world, not just AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon. So the aluminum version of the Series 8 Apple Watch comes in these 4 finishes, and the stainless steel version comes in these 3 finishes. So here's the feature lineup for the Apple Watch Series 8. You have multi-sport workouts. You have 2 functions for female health, the international road roaming that we just talked about, the lower power mode, and AFib history, the edge-to-edge display. You can track your sleeping. You can also track when you need to take medications. It has faster charging, new watch faces and watch bands, the crash detection, the ECG, the blood oxygen, which was introduced last year, and this year's new feature, the temperature sensing. So the Apple Watch Series 8 will start at $399. If you want cellular on that, it's $499. And of course, when you have the cellular option, there is a monthly charge from your mobile carrier. Now there is the Watch SE. It comes in 3 finishes. It also has the crash detection. And some of its other features are additional watch faces, medications app, the AFib history, heart rate notifications, color matched back cases, your multi-sport workouts, your sleep tracking. It has a larger display than the Series 3, does Apple Pay, and one of the main reasons that I recommend Apple Watches for seniors is fall detection. It has the activity tracking and the SOS, as well as the crash detection. And this is the water resistance rating. And the SIP stands for System in Package. So they've updated the chip and made it 20% faster. So the SE Apple Watch is $249, add $50 for cellular. Now, here's the new Apple Watch called the Ultra. As you can see, it's a lot beefier and it's got a bigger display. It also has a programmable action button on the other side. It has 3 microphones, so the speech is clearer. It has a larger speaker, so you can hear better. It has a normal battery life of 36 hours, and when you put it into low power mode, you get 60 hours of battery. And because of the larger watch face, you can have more complications. So as you can see here, there's a lot more data on here. They've also made the GPS locations more accurate by adding an L5 to the L1 receiver, so you get more precise location information. Now, I think this is a great feature. These little dots show where you have been. So this is like a breadcrumb trail. So if you get out there in the wilderness and you get disoriented, you can follow the dots back to where you started. This is another great feature of the Ultra, is it can be a dive watch. So if you're into scuba diving or any water sports, the Ultra is ready to go. So recapping the features, this is the customizable action button. There are 3 new band styles. This is the water proofing here and here, and the crash detection, a very bright display, the 60 hours of battery life on low power, the 49 millimeter case, then the new temperature sensing, ECG, LTE cellular, and the blood oxygen sensing. So they also have a siren on this one. So if you're lost and you think your rescuers are close by, it puts out a high-pitched siren so they can easily locate you. It also has night mode, so it saves your night vision. And as we mentioned, the precision dual frequency GPS has a nice compass, has pro running features, and the dive watch capability. So next on the agenda was the AirPods Pro. They have 4 silicone tips, so it should be able to fit whatever size ear that you have. The time on the playback is 6 hours, or 30 hours when you use the charging case and its built-in battery. So the features on the AirPods Pro, it now has a lanyard. It has twice as much active noise cancellation. It has a new H2 Apple Silicon chip. You can charge it from an Apple Watch charger, which is handy. And it has an in-case speaker, which works with the precision Find My feature. So when you get close to it, the speaker will emit a sound so you can find the case. It has adaptive transparency, which allows you to adjust the amount of outside noise. You can get your memoji or a short name engraved on the case. And again, it has 6 hours of listening time, or up to 30 hours total with the battery in the case. It has high quality audio, has a conversation boost to make it easier to hear what people are saying. The spatial audio is here again, and touch control on the stems to control your phone calls, your volume, and your conversations with Siri. So the AirPods Pro 2nd generation comes in at $249. So next we talked about the iPhone 14. So here are some of the features. True Tone, which is the display. Haptic Touch is the feedback you get. It feels like it's moving when it's not really moving. And then you have a 2,000,000 to 1 contrast ratio, wide color gamut, HDR, a bright HDR on your photos and your video, as well as a Super Retina XDR display. So these are all about the displays on the 6.7 and 6.1 inch displays. And the Apple custom OLED, so Apple takes an OLED from their suppliers and they customize it to make it work better. There's one problem with OLEDs, and that's called burn-in. So if you keep it on a same image for a long period of time, it'll burn that image into the screen. So Apple's customization of the OLED pretty much prevents burn-in. I've never heard anybody complain about burn-in on an Apple OLED. Same thing that they use on the watch. So it comes in 5 colors, including red. And of course they improve the camera as they do every year. So the main camera has a 12 megapixel sensor, which is larger. So it gives you a 49% better low light improvement. The 12 megapixel front facing camera is a true depth camera with a f1.9 aperture, so that gives you better low light. Now it also has the crash detection that we've already talked about. Now here's a feature that I think is really important and will probably save lives. It's emergency SOS via satellite. So what your iPhone 14 can do is talk directly to a low Earth orbit satellite and send a brief message, a text message, when you're in an area where there is no cellular coverage and you need emergency assistance. So the way it will work is you will have to be outside. It will direct you on how to point to the satellite to get the best signal. It's telling you that messages will take longer to send because, of course, you've got a longer distance up to the satellite. And they have composed questions for you to answer that will give the emergency responders information that will help them locate you quicker. So the way it works is your iPhone talks to the satellite, which talks to the ground station, which informs the emergency responders in the area that you're in how to locate you. So this is going to be free for 2 years, and it's available in November on the iPhone 14. So here's our feature review. 12 megapixel main camera, auto-focusing on the front camera, the 6.1 and 6.7 displays. The wires in the camera are made from 100 recycled gold. The packaging is 90% fiber-based, so there's not much plastic in the packaging. We have our XDR Super Retina display. It, of course, is 5G, continues to have the MagSafe. It's actually using last year's A15 Bionic processor. And it has all-day battery life, a tougher front glass ceramic shield. And this is a nice feature. Before you had to have an Apple Watch to do Apple Fitness. Now you can do it with just your iPhone. And of course the emergency SOS via satellite, the crash detection, and the action mode supposedly gives you the same capability as a GoPro as far as image stabilization. So you have the 5 new colors. The photonic engine gives you better lights and darks, and the ultra-wide camera also allows you to do macro photography. The True Tone flash is brighter. So those are the features of the iPhone 14. It's going to start at $799, and the larger screen, the Max, or the Plus I should say, is $899. And it's available October 7th. So now we come to the iPhone 14 Pro. It comes in 4 finishes. This is a new called Deep Purple, very deep purple. And so up here in the area which used to be called the notch, they've kind of done some different things up here. So this is the camera, the front-facing camera, and then these are the sensors that you do the facial recognition. And I believe this is a speaker. So now they have Dynamic Island. So basically what that's saying is that your notifications will be up here over the space formerly known as the notch. So this is mostly about the display. It's always on display now. So it is very bright, high contrast, very smooth. The LTPO is the technology for the OLED that allows the always on display not to use a lot of battery. So it dynamically switches the resolution when it's not doing anything to a very low refresh rate, and then it can go up to 120 frames per second on a video, for example. And it does HDR, Dolby Vision, HDR10, and HLG, which HLG is something similar to HDR but more compatible with more types of screens. As always, I'm blown away by the number of transistors in an iPhone. In the case of the iPhone 14 Max, it's 16 billion. So the camera, the main camera is 48 megapixels, which gives you 2 times more low light improvement. And they've done something different with the lenses here. So you have the 0.5 times, the 1 time, and now they added the 2 time as well as the 3 time, which they added last year. So you can see you get quite a range on the telephoto lenses. So the front-facing camera, the telephoto, and the main camera have up to 2 times better low light performance, and the wide angle camera has 3 times the low light level performance. Of course, this is your flash, and this is a sensor, and this is your microphone. So the features are pretty much the same. Emergency SOS, crash detection, the dynamic island, which is only On the Pro Max, the always on display, the bright display, the autofocus, and the photonic engine, 48 megapixel main camera, the 4 zoom levels, the action mode, all the battery life, still has MagSafe, and it does have a new A16 Bionic. So the Pro Max got the new processor. So the iPhone 14 Pro, I should say the iPhone 14 Pro and the Pro Max got the new processor, the A16. So $999 for the Pro and $1099 for the larger screen Max. And those are available September 16th. So here is the lineup of the phones that Apple is currently selling. So it starts with the SE at $429 and goes up through the lineup to include the new iPhone 14 models. So that's my recap for you for the Far Out presentation by Apple. So if you haven't already, please type your questions and comments in the comments field, and share the GoFor Gazette, please, with anybody you know that uses an Apple, and click on that thumbs up. That helps YouTube show this video to more people so we can help more people. And if you haven't updated your Zoom since September 7th, go ahead and do that to get to 5.11.11. Okay, so let's see what we have here. So Bob says that my time must run a little slower in my undisclosed location. Yep, my my countdown timer restarted twice. I'm not sure why that is, but there is an update for my eCam software, so maybe that got fixed. And glad to see Phil and Phyllis here. Welcome. So how many people have ordered an iPhone 14? I have not. I'm happy with my iPhone 13 that I got at the first of the year. I do like that satellite feature. That could come in handy, you know, not if you're, I mean, even if you're driving. You know, there's areas where you're driving that don't have cell coverage. So I think that's worth looking at. A reason to get an iPhone 14 and the crash detection too. Okay, well, if you have any suggestions for things you'd like to learn more about, please let me know. You can do that on the information coming up on a screen near you. You can call me or you can email me. And here's hoping you have a great rest of your day. Thanks for viewing.